Yeah, but once phone stuff, there was a video of it, and as soon as it got to the top,
I don't want any part of this course. I don't want
I was going like 12 minutes. I saw it was 12 minutes, yeah. It was 20 minutes.
Yeah, you don't need it. That's why there's always like a 6 a.m.
Welcome everybody. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and then brief moment of silence, and then we're going to do the swearing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stand for a minute. We're going to listen to the survey. Thank you very much. Charlie is going to swear in our court justice, Mr. Butler. Justice Butler.
Mr. Justice, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, David Putnam, do solemnly swear
I, David Putnam, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of village justice to the best of my ability.
the duties of village justice to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Justice.
At this time, it's my distinct pleasure to swear in our new mayor, Mr. Patrick Fawcett. Congratulations. Please raise your right hand. I, Patrick Fawcett, do solemnly swear
I, Patrick Fawcett, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
the Code of the Village of Brightwaters.
that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of mayor
the duties of mayor
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
All right. Ready? Congratulations. I, William Pitter, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
and the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of trustee
the duties of trustee
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations. Mr. Zeff, congratulations. All right. I, Thomas Zeff,
I, Thomas Zeff,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Code of the Village of
and the
Brightwaters,
Code of the Village of Brightwaters.
and that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of trustee
the duties of trustee
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you. And Ms. Elizabeth Butler. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand. I, Emily Wildermuth Butler,
I, Emily Wildermuth Butler,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of trustee
the duties of trustee
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justice.
Thank you. See you, folks. Thank you.
All right, thank you everybody for coming. Before we start the meeting, I would just like to take a minute to thank Mayor Maldini for being in attendance tonight. I probably wouldn't be here, and I might regret being here because of him for many years of his service and the work we've done together. So thank you, Mayor Maldini. And I'd also like to thank my lovely wife for showing up here tonight. I'm sure she's got better things to do, but probably the first and only time she'll ever be here. But I have to thank her because without her support, I would definitely not be here. So thank you. I see that Suffolk County Police Department's here. Let's get them out of here. So guys, you want to give your report to the village? I appreciate it.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So, Suffolk County Police, my name is Officer Sarge, with the precinct. Village of Brightwaters has had very minimal police contacts in the last month, in the month of June. There was one incident that was non-criminal in nature, just a domestic incident, and then one intermonth that's under investigation right now. We have an investigative unit working on it, anything like that. Really to remind as well, we've seen incidences with, people riding the e-bikes and e-scooters throughout the summer, that those things can be dangerous. We've seen incidences where daily cases people need to be transported to the hospital throughout the county. So just as a reminder, like, either be safe with those or maybe we'll both along together. And if you're going to use that, like, you're going to home, so that's all we have to do today.
Does any of the board have questions?
Yeah, let's go, guys. We had spoken, I guess about a month ago, we had guys here at the meeting, we're talking about the speeding issues on Montauk, over the canal. Is that still being addressed?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a patrol check that anybody who's working in 7314, as well as individuals who are in neighboring 13 or 4, they do patrol Montauk Highway. So the patrol check is one that gets regularly checked in on that you do individually, as well as we're patrolling the area all the time. We have our team today for our tour, they come down Montauk Highway all day. And typically our presence there does bring speed down. And through that segment, that crosses the right of way, has been pretty much, at least on our behalf, where it's working, patrolling through, and the presence is there all the time.
Has there been tickets? Have you guys been taking tickets there?
When they're speeding and it's witness, absolutely there's tickets. So the rate of tickets that I'm going to report from today, like I said, my partner in the past, she's out and going up and down Montauk Highway, making sure those streets are safe.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Anybody in the audience have any questions for the officers?
Hi. Are you able to share any information about the road at the train station?
We're at the train station. When did that occur?
No, that was overnight.
Yes.
Early mornings of July 5th, like right after 4th of July. We didn't know anything yet. He was just happened to be found during one of our checks, and since it's an open investigation, especially something that important, anything that they have, they're going to keep it to themselves right now. They're still trying to find out, like, what are they handling the suspects, how many suspects, and any motives.
Given the nature of the area, being the rail, and you have a lot of transients that are coming through, and the type of activity that can frequent that area, they have ideas of suspects, but nothing that we can share this time.
Anybody else? All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Be safe.
Take care.
So we brought back a tradition that kind of went away for a while. I thought it'd be a good idea that if anybody would like to ask a question, come up to the podium, state your name, your address for our records, and then we'll answer your questions. All right, so if anybody does have a question throughout the meeting, please come up and state your name, your address for the record. Thank you so much. All right, so first thing we're going to do is the organizational meeting, including the standard resolution and appointments. So I make a motion to approve the appointments and resolutions that are provided within the packets today. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody abstain or against? Okay. Motion passed. All right. The second thing we're going to do is approval of the previous board minutes on June 1st and June 15th of 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody abstain?
Do you have a point on the minutes? My name is Chris. Could I speak?
No, not until public comment.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No worries.
Sorry.
No worries. There's no second. So we're going to do reports of the mayor and the trustees. We'll start with Deputy Mayor Bill Pettit.
Thank you, Mayor. No incidents reported this month by Pro Protection in the overnight. We're speaking about it tonight, a stop sign being considered at Brooklyn and Mohawk. I've been discussing with Town of Islip about getting a permit for speed feedback, solar speed limit signs on Montauk Highway approaching the canal, which obviously as the officers about, it's an issue that we've spoken about in meetings here, that we'd really like to get on top of, slowing down the speed coming on Montauk Highway, coming from the west there.
That's going to happen regardless if we get a grant or not. That's one of the things that we promised to do. So if we don't get a grant, we're just going to have to coordinate agencies because that is a state road, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. So just more to come. Hopefully, Bill, you get it from me. All right. Gonna move forward. All right. Thank you, Bill. Trustee McNulty.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. DPW was busy again last month. Regular maintenance such as litter pickup, village right-of-ways, trash pickup in the village receptacles, grass cutting, watering flowers, removal of seaweed from the reed front and the Cell Road Harbor. They were trimming low-hanging trees interfering with the visibility of traffic safety signs as in progress. They cleaned up the removal of any trees and limbs damaged by severe high winds. Street sweeping has been completed and approximately 25 yards of material was removed from village roads. Storm drain cleaning has been completed, approximately 70 yards of material was removed. The removal of the lily pads and lakes is still ongoing. Repairs have been made and replacement slide has been installed at Walker Beach Playground. They assisted the day camp in setting up for the season. Temporary posts were installed at Walker Beach for the volleyball season, and they assisted with the following events: Operation Best Run, Historical Society baseball game, Historical Society tree dedication. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Joey. Appreciate that. Trustee Butler.
All right. I first want to thank Mr. Mayor Fawcett for offering me the opportunity to join the board for the remainder of the year. Many thanks also to Mayor Baldini for his service and making such wonderful memories for my family and I. I'm excited to be here this evening. Now on to community events. Brightwater celebrated American 250 in such a special way this year. Thank you to Mayor Baldini, the trustees, the 250 committee led by Mary Kate Bollay, the Brightwater's Garden Club, and all the volunteers who made this month and June truly special. It was a really just an awesome sight of teamwork and just a great opportunity for our community to come together. Last Saturday, the Brightwater's 250 committee proudly dedicated a red maple tree to the village of Brightwaters in honor of American 250. Our tree is officially registered in the Suffolk County Archives as part of the Suffolk 250 Planet Forward initiative, creating a lasting tribute for generations to come. Thank you to the 250 committee, and special thanks to Jennifer Bartlett for spearheading that tribute. We had our first Walker volleyball night last Monday. It went really well. Practical Smokers will be there every Monday night, so make sure you get your family to come on down. The truck will hopefully be there by 6, and games start at 6:45. We had our first family fun night down at Walker Beach this Thursday. It was a great turnout despite the excessive heat. Thank you guys all for coming. Mayor Baldini passed the baton to Mayor Fawcett at the event, I heard, but we don't think that's the last we'll hear of Mayor Baldini on the microphone at Walker Beach Thursdays. Hopefully. Johnny Gray entertained our guests. The 250 did a spectacular job on Friday for our July 4th celebration. It really was, if you were there, an unforgettable event. We had food trucks, refreshment trucks, the Boy Scouts sold their hot dogs and popcorns, bounce houses, which my 2 boys loved. We were able to witness the very first raising of the American flag. That's now down at Gilbert Park, courtesy of the Eagle Scout Charlie Mascaro, who did a terrific job and tribute. Our winners of the house decorating contest were announced. Again, thank you to the 250 committee and Mayor Baldini and the trustees for putting on such a great event. Let's see. Camp started, Brightwater's camp started last week. It was a very hot first week, but kids survived, the counselors survived. Maria and Lori are doing an excellent job of overseeing the campers and the counselors. The kids get to go to Walker Beach on Wednesdays. It was a great day. Let's see. Upcoming events. The board is working on organizing a village pedestrian and vehicle safety day for the spring. We're looking for it to be a fun, educational community event that can bring together first responders, local organizations, and families. The idea is to teach children and adults how to safely walk, bike, scooter, and drive within the community. There's been a lot of issues that we've been hearing, so I think something like this, an educational opportunity to bring together our residents, will be a great idea. The theme we're hoping will be safe streets, safe families, and we're looking for any volunteers that would like to help get this event off the ground. Just a reminder that all community events are listed on the Brightwaters app, so please download so you can stay abreast of everything that's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Butler. Trustee Zeth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Back again, everybody. This is now the third administration that I've been working with, which is fantastic. I look forward to it. First day on the job, so I'm not going to have a huge report. I guess my role now will be working with our village clerk, Cole, and the office, I guess as a liaison between the board and the village office. I'm no longer harbor master, but just want to put out there, during these weather events, please go down and check on your boats. I was down there today, there was one boat that wasn't tied properly hitting the dock, so we took care of that. And that's been an ongoing issue since May. So I'm just asking that people check on your boats, don't rely on the code officers to be checking in on it. We've had some pretty bad, severe weather events, so check on your boats. Call the village office if you have a problem. Call the harbor master if you need help tying up the boat.
Yes, and with the new harbor master, Wayne Lamcat, who lives right there on the concourse, so hopefully we have eyes on stuff and get people out. We'll have to list hopefully the voters by tomorrow, because it's official as of today. So I have a few items. I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible. I know we have a soccer game tonight. The Great South Bay Oyster Project kicked off this past Tuesday. If you're available 9 to 11 on a Tuesday, you volunteer, find out about oysters and how they help clean up our bay. Emily took a lot of my thunder, so that's great. No, that's good. That's good. We're upgrading the village hall. One of my initiatives is going to be two things. One is to put a camera behind me that faces the audience, so that when people come up and ask questions, the village residents know who that person is, and also so that everything is recorded live, so that when people can't make it to our meetings, they can be more a part of that conversation. Try to create more transparency. Lakes, we're going to have a cleanup day. I just talked to Peter Judge last week, I think it was. I don't know, everything's a blur. August 1st, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. If anybody wants to volunteer, we're going to need volunteers to go around the lakes cleanup, volunteers who are going to help plant some plants. We're going to put some native plants around the lakes, and then also volunteers to actually get in the lakes. We'll provide waiters. There's a lot of plants in the lakes that are we do load or can get to, especially on the Rusker Lake. So we're going to ask for volunteers to help do that. Tom, Bill, and I have been doing that ever since we've been part of the village and we started cleaning up the lake. So it's a nice thing, it's a fun day, and it really helps to get back to the village. We're also going to experiment. I've been doing a little bit of research on environmentally friendly ways to deal with the lakes. One of the things that I kind of researched was freshwater mussels. What they do is they take them, they put them in sand and put them in buckets, and they drown those buckets into the lakes. And supposedly they work like oysters do in the bay, and they help feed the lake. So we're going to experiment with that. I already found the vendors get those, so we're going to try that and see if that helps reduce some of the nitrogen, which will eventually kill off some of the lily pads. Again, if we have anybody who wants to volunteer, we can definitely use it. That's the end of my report for tonight, and we'll move on to the next thing. So, first item on the agenda is to consider Taylor Stephenson's Girl Scout Gold Award project to install a community message board garden in Stepping Stones at Gilman Park. Before we vote on that, I just want to try a new initiative. We definitely love the Scouts. The Scouts have been amazing for the village of Brightwoods. What does happen sometimes is some of these projects aren't built with the best materials out there, and they don't last long, so our guys have to, our guys have to come and rebuild them and repair them. What I'd like to do is offer any builders in the village, I know we have a lot of them, to help mentor our Scouts and help them with what the best materials are for these events. So hopefully we can get that initiative going where we have kind of a community project going on, but we're using best practice, best materials so that their Scout projects last more than 1 year. So I just want to put that out there, but I vote on approving this. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Don't know many people there. Second, the next item on is a contract with Chris Page for seasonal laborers. Oh, Tyler, do you want to say something? I'm sorry. Come on up. Sorry about that. Doing the job.
Hi, my name is Tyler Stevenson. I'm part of Troop 3722 located in Bay Shore. I'm creating a message board for my Girl Scout Award project in Gilbert Park near the entrance, and I'm going to have a garden along with it. And I'm also having stepping stones that are created by the community inside of the garden.
Did we get any of those stepping stones maybe the other day?
Yeah. On Friday, the school.
Awesome.
How'd they come out?
No, they came out really good. I just left the water so once I did the garden.
Awesome. We have a long tradition here in the village that the Scouts have been great with the village. We have multiple flagpoles, message boards right out front of our village hall. We have another project. I mean, we really love the Scouts, and they would never say no to a project for a Scout. We just really want to make sure that it's enduring. What I said to Charlie on Friday, she didn't, might not realize when he dedicated that flag. I said, Charlie, you just created your own legacy. 25 years when you come back with your child, or 30 years, you're going to point to that flagpole and say, that's my legacy. I gave that to the village of Brightwood. So what you're doing today, what you're going to do for that project, that's going to be your legacy. Hopefully someday you'll return with your children to the village and say, hey, I did that for the village. So we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris, you couldn't wait till the open session. You have a question?
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say that we could skip perennials. I could thin out some in the park.
I just want to say, Tyler's already did the message board at the That was her legal file.
Awesome.
I just wanted to let everybody know.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Next is the contract with Chris Pace with seasonal labor, specifically to operate the mechanical harvester in the lakes at a rate of $42.50 an hour, 24 hours a week, not to exceed $10,200 for our budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, we're going to appoint Noah Margolin, sorry about the pronunciation, as parking meter attendant at $18.50 an hour. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Appoint the following new camp counselor at $17 an hour, Fabio Fusco, Feldstedt, and Giuliano. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Amend the appointment of the following returning 4 years or more camp counselors at $19 an hour, Walther, Schumacher, and Bartolomeo. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, now we're going to consider the application of 245 LLC for site plan approval for property located 245 Fort Upper Drive in Brightwood, where the applicant is proposing to construct an artificial turf athletic field, 25-car parking lot, stormwater drainage system, and right-of-way improvements. I just want to kind of give a little bit of history on this, so everybody's kind of on the same page. The Hobby Group approached the village about putting an athletic field on Orinoco. They had purchased the property from the Del Vecchios. We gave them a demo permit, which they started their demo. Then they continued to what we felt was a construction point. We unfortunately needed certain things to catch up with that project. One of those being DEC approval. We became the lead agency on that. Bob became the lead agency for the Village of Brightwood. We also needed a SWIFT. Those things were not in place when they started the construction phase of it. Unfortunately, we tried to coordinate it as fast as possible. Then we had to order a stop work order. The Village of Brightwood is in favor of that athletic field in Orinoco. This board is in favor of it. The process has to be followed the correct way. So we put a stop work order on that. Then obviously there was code violation. We continue to work. There was fines on that. We now have an ongoing litigation with that. What we're trying to do today, because we've been speaking behind the scenes, our engineer has approved pretty much everything they've done on the ground. We right now, the biggest issue I have, and this board has, is there's a culvert that runs through that property. That culvert is very important to the village of Brightwood. That drains the northwest part of this village. Before that culvert was put in, we had underground rivers that were flooding basements and destroying property. So it's very important to the village of Brightwood that we have an easement in place for that, to access that if we ever need it. The good news is that I've been pretty intimately involved with this whole process. The work that they've done under there has probably improved our culvert. It's actually probably in that much better shape than it was prior to them going there. We also did not know that was on that site, to be honest with you, until they started construction. To our attention by Mike, our head of our DPW. So we've kind of worked through that with them, hand in hand, not against them, but there is a process, unfortunately, we have to go. One of the big issues was the lights. The lights went up, and that created a big stir. Spoke to the Hobby Group about that, spoke to Preston Owens, and they explained to us that the lights are so heavy, if they were to do that after the fact, they would destroy the field. I get it. I don't know how much that field is, but I'm sure it's well over $1 million just for the turf. So I get that. So we're going to put some covenants and restrictions in. We're in negotiation with that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to make a motion to approve the site plan. Hold on, I got my notes here. Subject to the approval of covenants and restrictions in drainage easements. Do I have a second? All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Okay. I didn't hear it. You guys have it. Sorry.
Can I ask a question or
No, sorry. Let's get through. This is soccer game. We want to get through. Public hearing for the adoption of local law we don't sign until we actually get the law. So 2026 to amend stop sign designation. The proposed section shall be added to 119-18 as follows. Mohawk Drive and Oakland Boulevard stop sign for eastbound and westbound on Mohawk Drive. Do I have a second? Actually, motion to open the public hearing on the stop sign. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Anybody have any public comment on the stop sign?
Yes, I do. My name's Chris Kaiser, 25 years, 534 Brooklyn Boulevard. So I live on a corner of Mohawk and Brooklyn Boulevard. And, the speed bumps were a great improvement. They've just kind of moved the problem one block over. People are not stopping at all. I notice it's a lot of delivery people, like Uber Eats and things like that. Typically UPS, I notice they're doing pretty good. But I also see a lot of the construction workers, the guys who work down the block, have their shops on the railroad station. Nobody's stopping. I don't think an extra stop sign is going to be sufficient for anything like that. I seriously doubt it. And my wife collected 20 signatures and submitted a letter last month to the mayor. So I don't know if you want this or should put this in your file.
Please.
But I'd really like you to consider that. It's a super dangerous situation. Many children. I know you guys get it, but I don't want this decision made too late because that would be a shame.
So I'm not following. You opposed to the stop sign or for the stop sign?
I'm for the stop sign, but I think we need a speed bump or two.
Right, I understand. Yeah, please, appreciate it. Yeah.
But I think you really have to consider that.
So where we experimented on Lombardi and Windsor with the speed ups, we haven't gotten any negative feedback about them. I will tell you this, that stop signs are not to control stop speed or whatever speed bumps are. We'll have to look at that. I mean, we're gonna have to do it one by one and take a look. I mean, I know there's a lot of residents who love speed bumps. I mean, I probably want one for my house too, but we have to look at it one by one, and we're not saying no.
Yeah,
We're, just not saying, we're not saying yes right now.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a cut down, right? People figure they used to cut down the body and they used to really, really fuck, because I've watched them go through there. Like the sign's not even there.
This was the
now they do the same thing on Brooklyn. So I'm just really concerned.
So this was the issue we had when why we kind of we're dragging our feet on Lombardi, to be honest with you, because I said we're gonna just move the problem one down one block.
Yeah.
So that means we put a speed bump on every block. I don't know that's the right answer either, right? Obviously, I would hope people would have better behavior, and to be very honest with you, most of the tickets that get written for people that go through stop signs are residents.
I know, but
no, just putting it out.
Hope's not a solution.
But yeah,
I'm just saying, you really have to consider this, and maybe what the village should do is actually have like roaming speed bumps, the ones you roll out like at the Bay Shore Arena. I don't know, but I'm sure we could do that independent of having a contractor perhaps to really have to, actually lay pavement. But I really want you guys to focus on this.
Yeah, and that petition was for speed ups?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll take a look at that.
Very
Thank
good.
you so much. Appreciate that. So, motion to close the public hearing. No, second.
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Motion to adopt the local law 2026. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Unanimous. All right. We're getting into a place now which I thought we'd never get to, but as we have as many landscapers, we now have food trucks in the village. People are using them for their events and things of that nature. Realistically, as a village, if we're going to have food trucks at our event, we need to basically monitor what they are. Whenever you have to monitor something or do something, there's costs associated with that. So we're creating a resolution. We're going to work with the food vendors. I actually did a deep dive on what it takes to become a food vending truck, and it's very, very complicated. And as the mayor of the village of Brightwood is, they're doing us a favor by coming to our events. Sometimes the practice folks down there on Monday don't make enough money to keep coming to their boss down there, but they do it anyway. And they come to our different events, like our Friday, 4th of July 250 event. So we're basically just kind of clean this up a little bit. We're going to work with them right now. All I'm asking them is for certificate insurance, have the village name, and then we'll work through the other process. So what we're doing today is going to adopt Resolution 3/2026 to establish an annual food vendor and adopting a food vendor policy. Do I have a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Any opposed? Next. Okay. All right, consider the approval of facilities permits for the following applications. Applicant Holly Lester, 48 South Bay, to host a birthday party at Walker Beach on Tuesday, July 14th at 4:30 p.m. Applicant Sally Sutra at 4:30 p.m. to host a family event with a 15 by 15 tent and 3 tables at Walker Beach on Sunday, July 19th from 2:30 to 7:30. And applicant Robin Southern of Brooklyn Boulevard to host a graduation party with a 15 by 15 tent at Walker Beach on Monday, July 20th from 2 to 6 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, so we're approving these. We're going to have a conversation. As you noticed, all those are at Walker Beach. I have no problem with that. It's a beautiful thing. I'm actually having my own little shindig down there this summer. Getting a special birthday this year. Anyway, the thing that I have, though, is that we have one of these events is going to happen on a Sunday. We have an event that Saturday. So at what point does it become intrusive to the rest of the residents who use the beach? So as a board, we're going to have that conversation. We're going to have to come up with some kind of idea of how we can do that. So, you know, the beach is used by everybody. You know, I'm not a big fan of the tents. I mean, I don't, you know, the beach is open when the people are having their parties, have other residents, but I'm not a big fan of the tents. So we're going to discuss that and come up with some kind of solution in the future. So, consider the approval of outdoor public assembly permit for Bayshore Breakfast Public Library to host an outdoor family movie night on August 21st at 7:30 at the southeast corner of Windsor and Montauk Highway. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? You guys got to be even more enthusiastic. All right. Public discussion on parking for boat owners.
Last question.
Yes, go ahead.
Southeast corner. The library, one of the books, the library is there, right? The rest of the field?
No, the east corner is the other side. That's the southwest? Okay. Yeah, southwest. Good call. Okay. No worries. Good catch, Joey. Appreciate it. Discussion, parking for boat owners and permits on Corinthian Court. This originally was a public hearing for parking between Bayway and South Bay. Then I got approached by Denise Gibson and Maria Curie about the parking issue on the corner there of Concourse West between that South Bay. And they made good points. There is, you know, some issues there as far as safety. She sent me pictures of the fact that when somebody parks, and unfortunately vehicles are all big now, a lot of pickup trucks, I own one on that road as well, are very large. So when you put these large vehicles on that street, it becomes a one-way street and it becomes dangerous to people leaving their residences. So we're going to have a public hearing on August, I think we're going to have a public hearing on August 3rd, Nicole? Can we call for a public hearing? Okay. So we're going to call for a public hearing on, I'm sorry, we just changed this today. So it will be August 3rd to discuss parking on Corinthian Court from Concourse West to Bayway. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right. Almost done. Approval of the treasury report and abstracts as provided in the packet. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? All right, great. All right, I'm going to open it up for public comment. Again, we brought an old tradition back. If you're going to ask a question, I ask you to please come up, state your name, your address, and then answer the board. Time you have to get a question on it. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Jennifer Bartlett, 290 Windsor. First of all, congratulations, everyone. And second of all, with respect to the Scouts, I think it's wonderful that we support them. I'd like to offer a suggestion, though, as someone who is actively involved in the Garden Club and Trustee Pitter knows what we went through this year. If maybe as part of their projects, and it can even maybe be a secondary project for someone coming up behind who's ever installing the gardens and the flower boxes, if they can maybe come up with a maintenance program, that could be another alternative. We have a lot of boxes now, and Mike knows this too, all around the village. And, you know, it's just a lot of upkeep. They need to be planted, watered, weeded, etc. So just a suggestion for the Scouts, if they could consider maintenance as well as part of their project plan, that would be great.
So, for those who do not know, Jen and Ann run the Garden Club for the Village of Brightwaters. They do an amazing job. The flowers this year have been absolutely spectacular. Appreciate you guys. But, you know, two things. Scouts. We love their projects. They do require a lot of maintenance. If you want to be part of that process, please reach out to Janet. Thank you so much. All right. Anybody else? Come on.
My name is Christine Janello. I live at 507 Ackerson Boulevard in Whitewater. I would like to know if there's policy whereby when I send letters to the board, they have to respond. Maybe have a legal obligation to respond to me.
Okay, so when was the letter sent to the court?
On June 9th, 2026.
And who was it sent to? Just sent to the
On June 9th, 2026, I sent an email to board@villageofrightwords.com where I corresponded with Mr. Castellano in the past. Same email.
Yeah, that goes to the village court clerk, Mr. Mayor, so.
June 9th, 2020.
Yeah, so court goes to court, Mr. Castellano is village attorney.
Right.
At Village of Brightwood is, but we'll look into why that process broke down, that we definitely should be
So
responding.
Mr. Castellano you never received?
No, I'm no longer the prosecutor.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. It was just a
So
letter.
it went, Mr. Mayor, I think, what the saying is, she sent an email to the court clerk, and the court clerk email at Brentwood.com.
Right.
The court clerk has to respond to that.
Yeah, so, basically tomorrow, I'll have the call.
So they do have to respond?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the legal obligation is, but as mayor, I would expect them to respond. I respond to everything that's given to me, so, but I will find out what happened with that process.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I understand with the court, if it's a procedural question or a day and time sort of thing, yes. If it's legal advice or legal analysis, I will clerk it up.
Right, but they can't respond, that we can't respond.
Yes, they can.
So
they should
that's what I'm
respond.
saying, they
Yes,
should
yes.
acknowledge the receipt of the email,
Yes.
but they responded, they're not allowed to do it.
Okay, I would like to just make a brief statement.
Sure.
On June 9th, 2026, I came in to speak to the ladies in the office about renewed expense. I saw Mayor Baldini and asked for a moment of his time to show them video of the ordinance being out of banned on a 90-degree July day during the summer of 2020 when the village of Brightwood brought a lawsuit against me, which they subsequently dropped. I explained to Mayor the video, which was submitted to my lawyers at the time, and it was taken at the exact date and time that Lori Luber swore under penalty of perjury to the DEC. That much smoke was causing her health issues and she had to leave her yard. I have her statement to the
Okay, so I'm gonna cut you off, unfortunately.
All right, no,
I'm gonna cut-
I
I'm
won't
gonna cut you
mention
off.
anything about the lawsuit.
Yeah, because we can't, this board can't respond to.
I won't say
We
anything.
can't respond to a lawsuit that is either
Okay,
pending or passed.
it
that I'm
was
not
in the
aware of.
past. I want to tell you one more thing. Mayor Baldini, when I showed him that video, cursed at me and accused me of burning furniture. And that is what I put in my letter. He specifically shouted at me, BS, using all of the letters. And I would like an apology from Mayor Baldini for the way that he treated me on June 9th, 2026 in this village office.
There is no way I'll ever apologize to this lady.
So again, the commentary stays here, this way. If you guys have a personal grievance, I wasn't there at the time of that incident, you're gonna have to settle that outside of the village hall. Again, we're not gonna comment on that specific case, so I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
I appreciate your comments and thank you.
Anybody else? Come on up.
Rich Day at 10 Lakeview Avenue North. I was a little surprised that a Norway maple was planted in the triangle on the anniversary. Those trees have been illegal to sell in Suffolk County since 2016. It's illegal to own one, but it's illegal to convey it or to transfer it otherwise.
I think that specific variety is approved. It's actually, I think, on the Cornell list. I think that's where they got it from. So I'll have to check it with you because somebody else approached me about that, and it's a different kind of species that was on the approval list. So just, I'll confirm that with you, but that's what, because somebody said, you put an invasive tree up, and then I said, I didn't know that, so I checked, and I was told that, no, that one was.
No, that's a crimson maple and it's on the list.
I'm not going to rip the tree out. Just let. But I hear what you're saying.
Well, we shouldn't pay him for it's an illegal sale.
I think it was a gift. Anyway, I appreciate it. I think.
Anybody more careful anyway?
Absolutely. Anybody else?
I just want to say,
I had a whole spiel ready for you guys. I'm going to save you some time though. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the project. I represent 245 Orinoco LLC. Preston Owens.
So Preston, we can't, if we have ongoing litigation, you got to be very careful what you're saying right now.
I was going to speak very generally
Okay,
about the
sure.
project.
I'm okay with that. Okay.
I think when it comes down to a project of this nature, it comes down to three specific things. One, is it built properly and safely? Two, do the residents of the community want it? And three, will the community benefit from the project? So, pretty basic things. One, the project has been and will continue to be built properly and safely. We've got some of the best community labor on there from 138, 66, 25 who's in the house here tonight, 1049. We work with the village engineer and the members of the village to make sure that we satisfy all the requirements in terms of what the vision wants it to be and what it currently is. We have a permit from New York State DEC that we work to get and make sure we're following along with, and we work with the Long Island Railroad to ensure that the project got completed safely and that everyone home to their families at night. Two, do the residents of the community want this project built in their community? We have, in the last less than a week, some of the mothers of Gray Waters were able to get a petition signed with 251 signatures of members of our community, basically saying, yes, we want this, yes, the way that we're proposing it is something we want for the community. So that satisfies that requirement. And three, will the community benefit from it? We're adding 26 parking spaces that we can talk to you guys about. We paid free to the public. We're already very busy downtown Bright Waters, and Fridays they're already using our lot next door. We want the public to be able to use it. We're adding free public Wi-Fi. And we've said in the past, and we're going to continue to say in the future, that the village wants to hold a community-based event there. We want that to happen. We want to work with you guys. We also have almost 500 feet of brand new sidewalk from Main Street. So we've been working with you guys, and you guys have been great working with us. Thank you for everything you guys have been doing. But we just wanted to, we've been showing along the way that all the roads are our way, and we're going to continue to do so. And we're happy to be working with you guys.
Yeah. So I'm just going to respond quickly. So you guys have been great to work with. There's been a lot of back and forths, maybe some yelling and screaming, but that's fine. That's part of the process. But there is a process. I think you got to follow that process. I'm also not naive to think that that's going to be a sports field, athletic field for 10 years. If it does get developed, at least now we have a proper site plan, so we develop it correctly. But we have to obviously make sure that my job is to take care of the village of Brightwaters. That is your property, that is not the village of Brightwaters property, but it does affect the village as a whole. So we're going to negotiate that out in court on how we get that done fairly, and we'll get to a place where everybody's happy. So thank you so much for the giver. Okay, come on up.
Sure.
Chris Kaiser, 534 Brooklyn Boulevard, 25 years in here. Just a question about the ball field, the field that's being built. Is there sort of a balance of like how many days a year that they will let the village use it for their purposes? Is anything in writing in that effect, or is this just sort of goodwill gestures? Which is fine. I mean, I'm just like, is it private use? Is it public use? Who uses it?
So we're going to put covenants and restriction on the use that can go there. It is their property. That is not our property. So they're going to dictate when we can and cannot use it. They've been saying all along that they want the community to use it. I believe in good faith they're going to do that. I think it would benefit them. But at the end of the day, that's their property. It's not our property. We do not dictate what they do. So that's
Do you
your
think that there's an idea of in deed and covenants you should be putting in X many days a year? What are your thoughts? Like,
yes,
as a board, like, is it like twice a year? Or is it 4 times a month?
So unfortunately, right now, I can't really kind of have that conversation with you. That's something that the Village of Brightwood is going to have with the Ogden Group, and then once that is all decided upon, then we can share that.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up.
Hello, everyone, and congratulations. Wishing you the best going forward. Linda Murky, I live at 97 South Windsor. I've lived here since 1999. And I'd just like to acknowledge John Baldini. He has volunteered well before he was the mayor, has put in an enormous amount of effort in the community, and I personally must say thank you, John. So, question I have for the team here is around the geese and the waterfowl that are drowning in the canal. So my understanding is the village is somewhat aware of the challenge that we have where the small goslings get sucked into the creek, go under the street and get dumped out in the canal and you can't get them out. So in the last few weeks I have scooped out 2 dead goslings, 2 live goslings, and have now tried to get adult geese out of the canal because they are now molting. Last summer I found 9 dead birds in the canal because every one of those species molts, including a large blue heron. This is no way to manage geese population. So, how do we resolve this? Because my understanding is a few other people have already come to the village to ask to help work on this issue, because frankly it's quite upsetting to see wildlife struggling to survive in the water that is theirs.
So you're asking somewhat of an impossible question. They are wild animals. They're not pets.
Yeah, I realize that.
They have their own life cycle. Is it in the village's best interest to direct these goslings? That sounds like a volunteer situation from my standpoint. I see them all the time with my dogs, and I try to scare them away from the canal. But at the end of the day, how do you police that?
So I'm not.
Do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, I do. So I'm not suggesting that we police it. I'm suggesting that, one, we consider building some sort of a ramp that enables the molting fowl to get on a platform and walk out of the canal. Geese are super smart and they're totally capable of learning that that's how they need to get out when they're molting because they can't get out otherwise. And as far as some of the smaller baby goslings that have been drowning in the tunnels under Main Street that get sucked in there, my understanding is it's a matter of how wide the opening is on the fencing or the grate that's in front of that tunnel.
So that
now, if I'm wrong, great, let me know. But my question is, why can't we at least resolve that? That seems pretty simple.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. That is not on our purvey to touch or modify. And if we were to modify it, so they would then be stuck against the current with the screen, is what you're saying. That would probably be worse than them getting sucked under the street. As far as them being in the canal, I don't know, maybe, I don't think a ramp would be good because we do have children that are curious about it.
We have ladders also in the canal.
I understand that. I also had children that were jumping into the canal when they were younger. I get that. But there may be a solution somewhere in between with some kind of platform for them to get on. And then it's going to be up to kind strangers to get them out of it. So I cannot direct my DPW guys to spend their time fishing wildlife out of the canal.
Oh, I'm not suggesting we do. I'm suggesting we create some sort of exit so they can get out themselves.
Yeah.
And I respectfully disagree with you about them getting trapped against the grate. I don't know that you've done a study on that. I don't know that you've explored that and know how often that should or could happen versus how many small goslings are drowning under Montauk Highway or when they get into the canal.
Again, that's not our purview. That is not our covert. That is a state covert. So they come down and inspect that. I've spoken with the gentleman. So that's not something that we could modify without their approval. So.
Okay, so is there someone I can follow up with at the state, and can I do that on behalf of the Village of Brightwaters, or is there someone here at the village offices that I need to work with?
I'm always open to suggestions. If you can figure a way to improve that to save for wildlife, I'm not against that. I mean, I know wildlife just like everybody else. But again, it's considered wildlife, not pets. But if you want it on your time and do some research, I'm happy to support whatever points you come with. We'll take it into consideration and see what we do together.
So what division of New York State do I start with?
Would that be the buildings? DOT.
Okay, so I'll reach out to them and then I'll put a letter together and send it to you, fine folks, and see where we go. But there are other villages and towns throughout Long Island, New York State, and this country that put docks and ramps that are floating. I'm not talking about a $10,000 investment here, that enable geese to get out. Okay? Because the other thing they're doing is sitting on the back of other people, on people's boats, making them rather filthy, right? So it's not just a matter of a quality of life for the geese, it's also a quality of life issue for some of the people who are in the concourse and with boats that have platforms. Thanks for the time.
Anybody else? Chris? Oh, actually, Matt come up first. Chris is going to have 5 questions.
Great. Matt Freitas, 117 South Bay. With the 245 recovery project, is that, it's just the way the proposal is worded, it says consider the application of, so it makes it sound like there hasn't been final approval, is that correct?
So we approved site plan approval contingent on covenants and restrictions and drainage easement. The reason we're doing that is that nobody's going to win if we keep going in court and fighting this with lawyers. So being now in charge as the mayor, we have the law on our side now. We can just shut them down and we told them to keep it respected and they can sue us for damages. And at the end of the day, I think it's best that we settle this in court, let them move forward, and then we create a new code so that if this does happen again, it'll be a lot more painful for the next person. That's my word.
I would just point out that the 25-car parking for a facility like that is woefully inadequate because you're going to have, you can think of a soccer game or a lacrosse game, you think there's 20 kids on each team, that's 20 cars on each team, officials, and it's going to be
right on the site. On the site plan, there's also overflow parking, which is actually on the field. But again, speaking with the Ogden group, there's going to be very little as far as that. And this bill is not regulation, so it's going to be for I think it's under 14 or something like that.
It's still the same number of kids.
Right, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, compared to what was there, I'm going to be okay with this. And if somewhere down the road it becomes a issue or parking of that nature, then we'll have additional conversations. Thank you, Chris.
Chris Pace, 506 North Windsor. 8 to 8, lose 1 at the hurry.
Who monitors the Windsor Mississippi Park, the cameras?
I think that's through code, if I'm not mistaken. I typically think that, I don't think they monitor it like 24/7. I think it was an incident reported, then they go back and look at the tapes.
Is it possible that we can get another camera where the bake shop is, in that area? The train station is exactly a mile to the step from my house. A half mile less from people on Lombardi. Our security has reduced overnight crime, but we shouldn't be lulled into the fact that crime is around us, and that was a murder. And it's not the first, so close to us. And a lot of people enter coming in right there. The bait shop, actually, that guy was the eyes for us when we sold the property. There was people that were living in the backyard, 15 drug addicts across from an abandoned house. The bait shop, Dan, he called up and got the ICE to come down and clear that out. Having a camera might be able to, after the fact, well, what happened on Lombardi when those guys came down there and they had guns. At least would have some kind of, something where we could see after the fact, who was that? What license plate was that? Who was entering? And it seems like a pretty low-cost solution to having some added security for
I know that Town of Hempstead, back in the day, it's been a while, they had cameras that reported plates where cars going in certain areas, and they would send letters to those individuals. I mean, I'll have Bill, Bill was really kind of the eyes and ears with all the security in the village, so I'll have to kind of take a look and see what we can do.
Thank you. So, number 2, great event the other night, America 250. But it got me thinking that years ago, I was at the meeting when people got up, introduced their said their name, and they said their dog's name, and in my opinion, we kind of got bullied into having that entire park become a dog park. You look at Gardner Park, and they have a beautiful dog area, fenced in, dogs run there. They have one for small dogs and one for large dogs. We give a $10 million piece of property that, for dogs, and I know it's only part of the day, but I'm not going there and, wondering if there's going to be poop everywhere. Is it possible that the village can consider modifying that park into something where a section is the dog park and a section is the village of Breakfast?
We could definitely consider it. I mean, I think you're kind of missing half the equation there. People go down there because it's a beautiful park, right? And they have dogs. So it's there for dogs to use, but it's the residents like that area. It's nice. They can walk their dogs around the lakes like I do. But they love Gilbert Park because it's open and they can see the whole space. So I hear what you're saying. You're missing half the equation, but we'll have a conversation. What I'd like to do is have a conversation with the dog owners and see what they think. So, thank you.
And then the last thing is something that I brought up in the past, and I love to see down the Four Corners. It's actually looking like a business district, especially with the outdoor table and chairs, deli, taco place, soon to be the market, restaurants, another new restaurant's going to be coming in. It's becoming a destination place, but it's still a pigsty when you come in from Union, coming around there. I know it's the Long Island Railroad, but it doesn't seem to be that hard to make that nicer. Like welcome to Brightwaters, that type of thing. And I'm happy to volunteer my time to make it nicer. It just has to be permission and a plan. I know that we've talked about having a meeting with the railroad, but I don't think that has taken place.
So I'm going to take a page out of Mayor Maldini's. I'm not going to give myself credit, though I was the head of the modernization committee when Mayor McDermott appointed me. So I've been intimate with the Corners for many, many years. We have a plan in place for the side roads you're talking about, those two roads that are one phase. We do have a plan for that. We've had conversations with the railroad. I think that's going to go nowhere. So we're just going to have to do something. So we'll do something. I know that National Grid is going to do some pipes that we've actually worked with them, so they're going to help do some of that road for us. But we are going to do something. I totally agree with you. That's blight. We do not like it, especially since the money we invested down there. So that will happen. That's just be patient.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Any other questions? All right. I make a motion.
I have one more thing that I'd like to say.
Come on up.
And I've lived in this village since 1998. I've never really been so insulted in my life. During the summer of 2022, the village of Brightwater's brought a lawsuit against me, which they dropped. Then they worked with the DDC, and it was based on the village of Brightwater's court enforcement records. I subpoenaed all those records back at the time of all the calls that my neighbors had made. Alright, besides the fact that Lori thinks that a missing fan causes hazard.
Do you have a question?
I do have a question.
Please.
I have a question. I'm here to clear my name. I don't think that the former mayor should be able to curse in my face.
This is unfortunately not the venue for that. I appreciate it. I understand you're frustrated, but that's not the venue for that. If you have a question, I'm happy to answer.
I have a question.
Sure.
All my life, 57 years old, we've had speed bumps, right? Why the signs all say speed hump?
It's just a definition of what's put down there because they're not speed bumps, they're speed bumps because they're not as high as speed bumps. It's just...
It's a height thing.
It's a height issue.
It kind of sounds like a bit.
Yeah, they're wider too. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Yes. Yeah.
So close. George, 216 Lakeview Avenue East. The only concern I have is not really a question. I want the board to really think about this soccer field thing. He said that they
It's
would work
Mr. Person, respectfully, if you remember the zoning board, there are issues outstanding, please don't speak.
None of them know what they're doing.
Please don't
somebody
speak.
else like to explain.
I would ask that nobody does, please don't speak.
All right, any other questions? Please.
Councilman, probably not. Matt Molay, 303 Plymouth. I've lived here for 3 years, so I'm the new guy. So, pro soccer field, no one's going to say no to that. Fun for the kids. Looks great already. I guess I was caught off guard and confused by the words application and proposal. I don't think I necessarily understood what you voted on until you cleared it up the second time around in terms of the drainage. But I had a flashback to when the pickleball guys were here. And the village put them through a ringer, maybe why they're not here anymore. But I really respected that they showed up every single meeting, every single month. They showed us their drawings, they sat right here, they talked to us, we berated them. I berated them, and they kept coming back. So I appreciate the signatures you have, but you built the whole thing, showed up with 250 signatures. I didn't put a bounce house in my backyard and I'm going to get 250 signatures. Right? So you're saying it's their property, they can do with it what they want. I just put an addition on my house. I didn't realize I did not have to get any permits. It was my property, and I can do whatever I want with that property. And then just maybe deal with it a little bit later. So I'm a little confused about being pro-village, but building everything and then showing up after the project is done, telling us that you have our support, but you gave zero public ability for anyone to voice anything.
So, Matt, is there a question?
Should we expect future projects like this to happen in the same way? I picture the Chase Bank. I'm pretty sure it's limited in the number of stories it can have. Should we just expect someone to buy the Four Corners commercial building and put 5 stories on top of it and not worry about the permits and then figure it out down the road? Is this setting a precedent that we should be worried about?
Yes, a great question. So I've already addressed the concerns that I have with the building inspector and the head of the planning board. I expect the code to be changing in a dramatic way. The only issue I have with what you're saying is that there's no building on that. It's a field, right? So if there was actual building going up there, then this would be a contrast. The fact that the pickleball didn't go through is actually a good thing for the village, because when they started putting the footings in, they would destroy that goal. We didn't know it was there. So we kind of had a happy accident about the fact that this project kind of went the way it did. But I will say this, I'm not happy with the precedent. I'm very upset with it, because I feel that this could have been done in a manner which it should have been just fine. Instead now we're talking about this in another way or not. So I'm not happy about it, but I will say this, that if somebody was to do this in the future, the fines will be a lot more than what they are right now. So that's what we're going to put in place, so that what I call it is the poison pill. If somebody is developing comes in and just tries to kind of just do their own thing, they would feel pain. So that's all I can tell you.
I just hope that permits are put in, whatever fines are paid, or else
So
I can ask for a refund for all permits that I
yeah. So this is a little different than permit, because the fact is that, again, there's no structure. It's a field. So you know, if it was building this
Commercial and residential.
business.
Permitting,
Yeah,
not
listen,
posting thing.
in 5-10 years, they're just probably going to come back and say, we're going to put something in there. And again, there's going to be a process for that. And if it's not within the use of that area, then they're going to have to get a variance for that. And this board would have to approve a change of use. So there's a much longer process, a tenuous process. But the best thing about the whole thing, again, I had the accident, is that we identified on that site where those culverts are. So if anything ever does get built in the future, we're going to protect our village.
Thank you, Trustee, guys.
Any other questions?
I have one more question.
Please.
Just have a question about
about the deeds and covenants on the, that will be, against the property, will there be like a public review period before it's adopted and approved?
That's why we're hired for no salary. We will discuss all that, we'll negotiate that with our lawyers and do our best to protect the village. And
Okay, so will there be public review of that? I mean, you guys review it.
Correct. And that's why we hired. Thank you. Nick, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
Thank you.
Wondering why you approved an application. There are already outstanding legal issues with the property. You don't have, they're approving a site plan.
Yeah.
The village doesn't even know what that plan is.
Oh, we do. We know what the
A field is a structure, not a building. So we do have codes that deal with structures.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask Mr. Chairman,
I'm not making a statement, I'm asking you a question.
I know.
So the question is very simple. I'll answer it. It's a very, very good question, Nick. At the end of the day, Charlie's meters run. What they're proposing and what they've come to us and what we've seen through the Mayor Baldini's, and we weren't opposed to this as a board. The village has never been opposed to it. We're just opposed to the way the process went, right? So if the process was done properly, there would never have this conversation would never have happened. So we are in a basically, for no better word, we're catch 22 right next to it. Where if we continue to pursue this, our legal fees will keep going. We right now have the law on our side. What we are doing is we're going to give them an olive branch to do the right thing by us, get the paperwork caught up so that everything is done by the book. And we're going to put covenants and restrictions, and the biggest one is the drainage easement, so that the village is protected well when I'm gone. So that's really my job. My job is to protect the village and the residents. I have no interest in an athletic field. My boys are all in their 20s. They're not going to use that field. And he says he's going to let the village use that for community events. That's great, but I can't. That's his property. What I can tell you is if they do not do everything by the book, by the time that is done, there will be a padlock on that, and they will not be able to use it. And they will not get a final approval on that plan unless everything is up to speed. And we have the authority to do that. And if they feel that they want to fight that battle at that point, then that's a fight for another day. But right now, I think it's the best interest of the village and of this board to let them finish and catch up all the paperwork and also deal with the legal implications, which there are many. And that's not my paper. That's Charlie and his team. So that's how I look at it from where I'm sitting. Again, people may disagree with me, and that's fine. And they can say I'm not doing the right thing by the village, but I think I am doing the right thing by the village. I'm saving the village tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees, so I think I am doing the right thing. If you disagree, that's fine. That's my word. So I hope I answered your question.
I disagree, but
We're agree to disagree.
to me, you're going to try to negotiate with people who have violated the code directly. You had a chance to negotiate with you weeks ago and didn't do it.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but we still have legal grounds to make them negotiate. If we get to that, hopefully we don't have to get to that.
Did the trustees approve the lights? Or
The lights are now on the site plan. They're going to be in the covenants and restrictions. I already spoke with Mr. Hotman about that. I think he's going to work with us on that. The reality is in November, December, if they want to use the field, it's starting at 3 o'clock. Right? So we'll have to work on that negotiation. That's going to be a conversation. So I'm not going to let them blast lights at 9 o'clock at night to neighbors on the that's your concern. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. No, I got people behind you.
You got.
Thank you.
I can't see behind me. I apologize.
No worries.
Hi, Sharon Semino, 37 Orchard Drive. Congratulations again. Chris, don't hate me, but I understand what he's saying as far as the Gilbert Park being the dog park. And there are people who are not always responsible pet owners. However, and my dog, I'm not benefiting from it. He does not play well with others, so I don't bring him here. And it can lead to, you know, fights and things like that. But for those that are responsible pet owners, I just ask that you be considerate of them, because some people, their dogs are their children. They don't have human babies. This is their preschool outing. It creates a lot of stimulation for dogs. It's good for them, the ones that get along. Gardner Park is notoriously bad with ticks. It's been just getting worse and worse every year. Fortunately, in Brightwater, for whatever reason, we have very eloquent possum, which are wonderful, and they're natural tick eaters. So we can save a lot of pesticides because of the possum that we have here. I just ask that you please consider the people that do benefit from the park. I don't know how easy it is to enforce cleaning up, but it is beneficial to many in the community. I also thank Linda for caring about the geese. I would also recommend, as well as, and I'll be happy to be part of that if she wants, contacting the local wildlife rehabilitators as well as the state to see what we can do, because I think the rehabbers, who are always the ones coming in, I myself have gone into one of the main lake to pull. It wasn't goslings, it was ducklings a couple of years ago. They just kept going in the waterfall, and yeah, they can drown, they can die. So if we could get a good solution, I think the rehabbers might be a good benefit to everybody, as well as following the state regulations.
First of all, I didn't know about the possum, so thanks for that.
Oh yeah, no, they're great. People don't like them because of their tails, but they are fantastic. They do great things.
And our family's big animal people, as you know, so we love the wildlife. That's part of things. Brightwater is, we have a heron that live back now in the lakes, which we haven't had all the time. We don't have any swans as of yet, maybe. But so I love animals, and I think they're part of it. I don't like to so much for the poop reason, because they poop and my dogs eat it. That's what
it's not.
I know. But like I said, you guys can figure out a solution, something that's not going to affect, the Brightwater voters as much, then I'm okay.
Okay, thank you. And thank you again, John, for your service. I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. He's not going anywhere. Yes, come on.
Good evening, Fireman Chipetta for 89 Acres. One comment?
Sure.
One question.
Sure.
The comment is, on the heels of the three gentlemen that spoke before me, you worked with stop work order. Came at the mid-month meeting, you came to us, told us that you're not sure if tomorrow you're going to have workers on. You knew damn well the workers were going to be there. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, let's
I'm not involved.
No, come on.
Just a statement of fact.
Totally cool. I got it, but everything needs to be directed here, not to.
Well, it's really.
I understand that, but
I
again,
understand. I apologize.
just.
And then further,
You can yell at me.
when they were putting down the turf, the gentleman who was overseeing that installation, I stopped and spoke to him for about 2 minutes, and I said, "Do you realize that there is a stop work order that has been issued by the village?"
Yeah, it was on the fence. I kept ripping it off.
What's that?
It was on the fence. I kept
Yeah, and he said, "No, that's not what they told me."
Yeah.
And then the turf goes down. So the comment is, you come here and you make like you're doing us a service. Here's the service, is what I would say. You buy the property, you develop it, and you hand the deed over to the village. Then I believe.
Okay, question.
Now, the question. Several years ago, I spoke with Joe Palacino when the planning board was crafting their recommendations for the east side of Veronica Drive, where they were proposing the apartment complex. And I said, Joe, what about the west side? Because nobody's asked us to do anything about it. No one, the west side of Orinoco.
When we rezoned everything?
He told me we weren't asked to do it.
No, that's not accurate. I disagree with that conversation completely, because I was on the board when we did that. I was part of that process. We rezoned all ones. Everyone had specific uses that they were allowed to do in cities.
So this use you are aware of?
Yeah.
The athletic.
Yeah.
Can we expect you to consider changes to the code as it relates to permitted uses going forward? In anticipation of, as you suggested.
As you know, as a trustee, that is always in the purview of the board to allow different things, but myself personally, I would weigh in heavily with the planning board, and this is how I would do it. I'd weigh in heavily with the planning board and the variance board to get their input before this board ever even considered it.
No, understood, but what I'm saying is now's the time, if you are, as you well put it before, this is not gonna be an athletic field that infinitum.
Right.
At some point, it will stop, and they're gonna come up with a different.
I have to, so if your concern is they're gonna put apartments and things of that nature, I have to review what that zone is. I don't think it's zoned for that right now, but I will check.
I'm not being specific, I'm just saying, define what you wanna see there down the line, and what you don't wanna see there moreover, so we don't have this issue.
Right, so how I operate is we have very good volunteers. We have a great building inspector. I'm gonna tell them, okay, this is what the situation is in that area. I want you to come to me with a solution. I'm not gonna offer that solution. They're gonna come to me with a solution. Our board is gonna discuss that, give them feedback, maybe send it back to them, look at the variances, have them come to us, because at the end of the day, we're volunteers, we're all residents too, we all live here. We wanna make sure that everybody agrees with what that is. At the end of the day, I'm gonna live and die on the sword because I'm the mayor. That's why I chose to be it, right? So your concerns are greatly appreciated, and you're a very smart guy with a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we're gonna make sure that that field, whatever it becomes later on, the village is protected. That's all I care about. I wanna make sure the village is protected.
Just wanna make sure we don't.
I agree with you.
I wanna
We're on the same page.
Not a third storage facility.
I hear you, I hear you. Or a nail salon in the corners.
Huh?
Or a nail salon in the corners.
Exactly.
Correct. With you, 100%.
I was gonna say something about that.
It's all right, thank you. Anybody else? You have a question, or you're gonna make a statement? If you have a question, you come up. If you make a statement, we're done.
You're very good at shutting people up that you don't want to hear from. My question is, you sat on this board where you harassed me all summer.
All right.
So I want to know, do you know that this lawsuit that the Village of Brightwater used the DEC to sue me in this court got thrown out? Do you know it got thrown out?
Second. All in
All
favor?
these tickets you
Aye.
gave me?
Meeting is adjourned. Thank
Got
you.
thrown
Have a
out.
great day.
You don't want to answer. You think it's okay for a city mayor to curse at a resident?
Working in 100-degree
First lady.